Hey, you guys. Hey, thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
Woo! We're going to be raining down some goodness tonight. I am so grateful for you guys coming out here, just sharing goodness. It's so important to do what we can to help this world become a better place. I call this the goodness blessing. A wonderful rule to live by for whatever you choose to do. See the good in yourself and others, and the good will come back to you. We give thanks for all the blessings showered down upon us. From the water we drink, the food we eat, the friendships we forge, the love we share, and the magic we co-create. And through us, through you, we send blessings to all the people, animals, and the planet. And through us, through you, we say the following. I think good thoughts.
Think good thoughts.
I speak good words.
Speak good words.
I do good deeds.
Do good deeds.
Because I am love.
Because I am love.
I am light.
I am light.
And I am goodness.
I am goodness.
I think good thoughts.
I think good thoughts.
I speak good words.
Speak good words.
I do good deeds.
I do good deeds.
Because I am love.
Because I am love.
I am light.
I am light.
And I am goodness.
I am goodness.
And through us, through you, may we shine our lights in love and goodness so that we may illuminate this beautiful world. Amen.
Amen.
What is love and where does love really come in? And I was really thinking about this. I think when we wrong somebody, because tomorrow, the next day, even tonight before the night's over, we may wrong somebody. We may yell at somebody. We may argue with somebody. We may, our ego or our pride may get in the way. And so some people are aware of their ego and pride. Most people are not. But if you can be aware of it and take a higher ground and go back to that person that you may have burnt a bridge with, and show love and compassion, because that's when love and compassion is love and compassion, if that makes sense. And if we can do this to our enemies, that's true love and compassion. It's really easy to love our friends and our neighbors and our family that invites us over for dinner, or to those things, our circle, the small group we're around. That's a very easy thing. Anyone can do that, but when you love and extend passion and kindness outside of the box to those that you may not get along with. You don't know what's going on in that particular person's life. You don't know what happened earlier that day. You don't know what happened when they were kids. Everything stems from something from maybe childhood or a bad experience. And those people, when they're angry or they're mad or anything to this nature, they're bleeding. They're reaching out. They're in pain. So what happens is that it's tough. It's real tough. Jesus always talked about turning the other cheek. And so we are supposed to be the light of the world. And with that said, so I was just thinking about it. And I was like, what I'm going to do is next time that comes into play and it arises, I'm going to extend love and compassion where normally it would not be extended.
I'm part of this business networking group with like-minded people, in the corporate world who don't get to live this life right now. This goodness life, they don't have the means or ability to see how good truly everyone is here, and it's really magical. And what I wanted to share with everyone is that I'm a vegan, and I met Steven at the vegetarian food festival, and anyway, to share my wellness message. And ever since then, I've been so inspired to really be who I am, But Robert, he has a business networking group who I knew from work in the corporate life. Now I don't anymore, because Robert truly believed in me, and that he's like, I know you're vegan and blah, 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 and you're so passionate about it. And more people need to know your message, like how to come to veganism, because Robert didn't know about veganism. And so I've been teaching him all these things about veganism, and he's like, you could really have a business here, you could really have a situation going for yourself, Most of the percentage of the country doesn't have this perspective that you do. And so anyway, I am sponsoring a art battle, and it's going to be at the Cactus Jack's Tavern in Ahwatukee. And I'm sponsoring the event as a vegan. I don't have any products. But what the idea I got tonight, talking to somebody, is I wear corrective lenses. I have contacts on right now. And he sparked an interest in my mind, and I asked him to put on his glasses to see how he sees, you know? And so anyway, I had this new perspective, you know. I couldn't think too fast because my eyes and my mind couldn't go as fast in those lenses, right? Because it was kind of hurting my eyes, but I was trying to see from his perspective. And so what I imagined I'm going to do is, I don't have a product to sell. We are part of this amazing business network for people, entrepreneurs, who are living this life, like the Rose here, who has her garden that she sells at the farmer's market. That's a small business. And look what she has around her, like supporting that decision in her life, the universe, and our higher power. So anyway, at this art battle, 2 weeks from yesterday, so March 29th, at Cactus Jack's Tavern on I-10 in Elliott, I am sponsoring this event, and I don't have a product to sell. But what I imagine I'm going to do is get those glasses from Walgreens, maybe the highest ones, and tell people to look through a new perspective to come to veganism. So if you guys show up, I mean, it's optional, but it's going to be an art battle. There's going to be 3 20-minute rounds that all the guests who attend get to vote on. These top artists in Arizona.
That's cool.
Right? And it's an art battle. They actually have them. This wasn't just started in Phoenix. They have them all around the world. In Amsterdam and Sao Paulo and all these amazing countries, 50 and more. And they're coming to Phoenix on the March 29th for a Phoenix version of the top artists in Arizona. And there's 3 rounds, and I'm sponsoring the event. So I'd love for you to attend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Every one of us have a chance to be a light to those around us, to our family, to our communities, to people we work with, right? But there will come days, maybe like you say, where we may forget to turn on that light. You know what I mean? And so there could be an opportunity for you to impact somebody else, right? And so maybe one day when you don't have to turn on that, as you were talking about here, that goodness light, you may go and wave yourself as a lamp, but you're empty, right? But you just want the message is keep your light on. Sometimes you have people who brush you the wrong side. It's the wrong way. Sometimes you'll be just exhausted. But if you can just keep, being persistent, just stay on top of it, right? Whilst, there's a lot of things happening in the world, and it's a very hard world. But just keep that light on, that goodness light on, and it will help save another person. There are people hopeless out there. People don't have excitement about life. But I met most of you here, and I can tell you had excitement about life. You enjoy life, right? Yeah. So I'm hoping that light stays on, so that other people can at least see and have, they can have also a long life, seeing the light in you. Thank you.
I'd like to share a story that a traveler shared with me. I was going through a real rough time, and God had brought this man into my life, and the guy just shared a story with me, and he took off. So I'm going to share the same story this guy gave to me. So if you guys are experiencing anything in your lives or in the future, I would like you to remember this story, and I'll try to tell it the best I can. So there was a traveler, and this man had been in the desert for quite a long time, and he had a horse, and he pulled into a town, and he had not eaten or drinking water for a very, very long time. So he goes up into the town and knocks on the door, and the person opens the door, and he says, I've been traveling, my horse and I, we have no water, we have no food, can you share some water and food? And the lady starts yelling at the man, just ranting and raving, just get away from here, get out of here, you bum, you homeless, starts throwing stuff at him. So as he turns and walks away, he he tells himself, and this too is for the good. So he tries another house, knocks on the door. A man comes to the door. And he says, my horse and I, we've been traveling for quite some time. We have no food, we have no water. Can you share some food or water? And the man starts yelling at him, pulls a knife on him, and says, get away from me, get out of here. So the guy walks away and he says, and this too is for the good. So he tries a couple other places and he gets the same response. So he sees a patch of woods not too far, about 100 yards away from the town. So he goes out there and he tucks away in the woods. So the only possession this man carries is the Bible. And he has a lantern. So this man lights his lantern and he's reading his Bible. And the lantern, the possession he has, the wind blows and knocks down his lantern. So the man is without light now. The lantern shatters. And he's cold and he's sitting there like, wow, can this get any worse? But he says, and this too is for the good. Okay? So now he's in the dark and the wind is blowing and his horse starts kicking. Horse is making all kinds of noise. And the horse is just real rambunctious and won't be quiet. So all of a sudden he hears something in the woods, in the bushes. And a cougar jumps out and rips his horses to threads and pulls the horse into the wilderness. So this man is without a horse now. He's got no light, he's hungry, he's cold, he's shivering, and he looks and he says, and this too is for the good. Okay? So he's had all these awful things happen to him. So he's sleeping now and he's in the wilderness, he's cold, and he has absolutely nothing now. He's just down to his Bible. And he's freezing cold and he just thought to himself, and this too is for the good. I'll go into town the next day. Surely there has to be somebody that might help me. So as the sun rises and he makes his way into town, he realizes that the entire town is in flames. And when he walks the town, there's not one person alive in town. Some pirates or some raiders had come in and killed everybody and killed all the animals. And so with that said, had he been in the town and had this guy received some hospitality from the first person that he knocked on the door, he would have been in the town himself and he would have died. If the second person would allow this man to come into his house, he would have died with them. Okay? So with that said, when he went out to the woods and his lantern was lit, okay, when they came into the town, they would have seen the light out there, and they would have gone out there and they would have killed him. So the light, the Lord had sent the wind to blow down the lantern, and it broke. Okay, so he had no light, so they couldn't see this. Now, if they would have heard his horse out there, they would have came out there and they would have killed him. Okay, so the Lord had taken away his horse. So through all of these trials and tribulations, he was actually being protected the entire time. He was the only one that survived, but he had to go through all these difficult times. And with that said, if we're going through many difficult times, as I was when this traveler approached me, I was going through a very, very tough time. And this guy just told me this story, and I was like, wow, like what are the odds of that this guy would come up and tell me the story? And it brought so much peace to my life. And he told me this story about 2 years ago. And so when I have many trials and tribulations every single day that I face, I always try to look at it, and this too is for the good, because it gives us strength, and we don't know, I call it God, and some people call it a higher power, the universe. We don't know what it's trying to show us or to what to bring us. So I always tell people to embrace these tough times in your life and these trials and tribulations that you may go through, because you're still here today. Some of us may be bruised, broken, emotionally, physically, but you're still here. So rather than looking at these things and why this or why that, look at them and see where we can grow from there and where we can find strength through these difficult times that we have been through. Because there's not one person that is sitting here that has not gone through a hard time or is not going through a hard time. Not one person.